What if the secrets to modern entrepreneurial success aren't found in Silicon Valley, but hidden in ancient scriptures? Imagine Abraham building vast enterprises, Joseph managing an entire empire, and David scaling leadership from sheep to a nation. In this video, you'll discover how timeless biblical principles, stewardship, integrity, and strategic foresight can become your blueprint for success in 2026 and beyond. Long before venture capital, before startups, before pitch decks and profit margins, the Bible was already recording powerful entrepreneurs, just without the labels. When we talk about success today, we often point to Silicon Valley, Wall Street, or the latest tech unicorn. But thousands of years ago, in deserts, palaces, and battlefields, men were building systems, managing people, and creating wealth that outlived them. Not by accident. Not by luck. But by principle. Take Abraham. Abraham wasn't just a wanderer following faith, he was a regional wealth manager. Scripture tells us he had flocks, herds, silver, gold, and servants. That means payroll, logistics, resource allocation, risk management. He negotiated land deals, formed alliances, rescued entire communities using trained men from his own household. Abraham built multi-generational wealth in unstable territory, no banks, no insurance, no safety nets. Yet his wealth increased because it was governed by stewardship, discipline, and trust in God. Now look at Joseph. Joseph is the blueprint for every modern economic strategist. He interpreted a dream, but more importantly, he built a plan. 7 years of abundance. 7 years of famine. One strategy. Joseph centralized storage, regulated distribution, and positioned Egypt as the economic lifeline of the world. While other nations collapsed, Egypt prospered. He turned crisis into opportunity. Uncertainty into dominance. Chaos into structure. That's not ancient luck, that's strategic foresight. And then there's David. David didn't just become king, he built a brand. From shepherd to giant slayer, from outlaw to leader, David understood people, culture, loyalty, and timing. He unified tribes, developed leadership around him, and created a kingdom whose influence echoed for generations. David shows us that leadership isn't just about authority, it's about trust, vision, and legacy. Here's what connects them all. They didn't operate in comfort. They didn't build in certainty. They thrived in unstable environments, political pressure, scarcity, opposition, and constant uncertainty. Sounds familiar? That's today's market. Rapid change. Economic shocks. Technological disruption. Global instability. And yet, the lesson remains the same. Their advantage wasn't technology. It wasn't speed. It wasn't access. It was principle. They built with wisdom before tools. Character before capital. Vision before expansion. Pause slightly, lean in. And that's why their stories still speak today. Because trends fade. Markets shift. Technology evolves. But principles? Principles endure. Stewardship, the original wealth management. Long before spreadsheets, financial advisors, and investment portfolios. Stewardship was already being practiced, and perfected. The Bible doesn't present wealth as something to chase. It presents wealth as something to manage. And at the center of biblical wealth management is one word. Stewardship. Stewardship is the discipline of managing resources wisely, responsibly, and with the future in mind. Not just for personal gain, but for continuity, stability, and purpose. Let's begin with Abraham. Abraham didn't just accumulate wealth, he organized it. Scripture tells us Abraham managed land, labor, and livestock across vast regions. That means real estate, human capital, supply chains, risk. He didn't consume everything he produced. He didn't live paycheck to paycheck. He structured wealth so it could outlive him. Abraham understood something many modern entrepreneurs miss. Wealth is not proven by how much you spend. It's proven by how well you preserve and multiply. He thought generationally. He made room for growth. He created systems, not just income. That's why his wealth didn't collapse under pressure, it expanded under responsibility. Now translate that into today's world. Modern stewardship looks like asset allocation, not putting everything into one stream. It looks like long-term investment thinking, resisting the temptation of quick wins for sustainable growth. It looks like building generational businesses, companies and assets that can transfer value beyond one lifetime. Stewardship asks a powerful question. If this resource stays in my hands long enough, will it grow or disappear? Now let's move to Joseph, the masterclass in crisis economics. Joseph rose to power not because he predicted the future, but because he prepared for it. During 7 years of abundance, he didn't celebrate recklessly. He didn't inflate lifestyles. He didn't assume good times would last forever. Instead, he saved. He stored. He planned. Joseph understood that abundance is a test, not a reward. Then famine came. And while nations panicked, Egypt prospered. Joseph distributed wisely. He controlled cash flow. He stabilized an entire economy. This wasn't greed, it was governance. Joseph shows us that true wealth management isn't about how much you make in good times. It's about how long you survive in hard times. Now look at the modern parallels. Joseph's model is crisis planning, building reserves before emergencies hit. It's cash flow discipline, understanding income, expenses, and sustainability. It's resilient business models, structures that survive downturns, disruptions, and uncertainty. In today's world of inflation, market crashes, and unpredictable economies, Joseph's strategy is more relevant than ever. Here's the core lesson that ties Abraham and Joseph together. Backhand index pointing right. Those who plan ahead don't panic, they prosper. They don't react emotionally. They don't collapse under pressure. They don't depend on miracles where preparation was required. They steward first, then they expand. Brief pause, gentle emphasis. And this is where many modern businesses fail. They chase growth without governance. Expansion without structure. Revenue without reserves. But biblical stewardship flips the script. It teaches us that management always comes before multiplication. Because when stewardship is solid, growth becomes sustainable. And when growth is sustainable, wealth becomes secure. Strategic foresight, prophetic business vision. Biblical leaders didn't guess the future. They prepared for it. When we hear the word prophetic, many people think of prediction. But in the Bible, prophecy was rarely about guessing tomorrow, it was about preparing today. Biblical leaders understood something modern markets are relearning the hard way. The future rewards those who see patterns early, and act quietly. Strategic foresight is not hype. It is discipline. It is the ability to read signals before they become headlines. Think of Joseph again. He didn't wait for famine to begin before changing policy. He recognized a pattern, abundance followed by scarcity, and adjusted strategy before the crisis arrived. That's prophetic business vision. Not magic. Not guesswork. But disciplined anticipation. Then consider David. David didn't build an empire overnight. He studied people. He studied timing. He understood loyalty, morale, and momentum. When Saul's system began to collapse, David was already prepared to lead, not because he forced power, but because he built capacity long before opportunity arrived. Biblical foresight always followed 3 principles. Long-term thinking, seeing beyond immediate reward. Pattern recognition, understanding cycles of growth, decline, and renewal. Disciplined anticipation, preparing quietly while others react loudly. This mindset separated leaders from followers, then and now. Now let's bring this wisdom into a 2026 lens. We are entering an era where speed is celebrated, but discernment is rare. Take artificial intelligence. The race today is about who can move fastest. But biblical foresight teaches us a different priority. Values over speed. Technology without ethics becomes dangerous. Automation without wisdom creates instability. The businesses that will last are not the fastest adopters, they are the most intentional stewards of innovation. Now look at climate technology. The old model was exploitation, extract, consume, discard. But Scripture teaches stewardship over exploitation. The future belongs to companies that understand sustainability is not a trend, it is responsibility. Just as Abraham managed land with care, modern leaders must manage resources with restraint and foresight. Then consider global supply chains. Recent years exposed the danger of convenience-driven systems. Biblical foresight teaches us resilience over convenience. Joseph didn't rely on one harvest. He stored across years. David didn't rely on one tribe. He united many. The strongest systems are not the most efficient, they are the most adaptable. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people react to change. Few people prepare for it. And preparation often looks boring, until crisis makes it brilliant. The future belongs to those who prepare quietly. They invest before demand explodes. They train leaders before positions open. They build reserves before markets collapse. They don't announce strategy, they execute it. And this is why biblical foresight still works. Because it is grounded in humility, patience, and discipline. Vision is not about predicting what will happen. It is about becoming the kind of leader who is ready when it does. The world rewards noise. But history remembers those who saw clearly, and acted wisely. Legacy and purpose, the why beyond profit. In Scripture, success was never just about money. It was about impact. When the Bible speaks of wealth, it rarely stops at numbers. It always points toward influence, responsibility, and legacy. Because in God's economy, profit is not the destination. It is a tool. Look at Abraham. Abraham was wealthy, yes. But Scripture doesn't celebrate him for accumulation. It celebrates him because nations were blessed through him. His wealth wasn't hoarded. It was positioned. His success created pathways for others to thrive. Then there's Joseph. Joseph didn't just save a nation. He saved millions of lives. His leadership didn't end at economic stability. It extended to dignity, survival, and hope during one of history's greatest crises. And David. David didn't just build a kingdom. He shaped identity. He unified tribes, established worship, wrote songs that still heal hearts thousands of years later. His leadership echoed far beyond his lifetime. That's legacy. Biblical success always asked a deeper question. Who is better because you existed? Now pause, and reflect. What problem does your business solve? Is it just convenience? Or transformation? Who benefits if you succeed? Is it only shareholders? Or families, communities, future generations? And when you're gone, what remains? A brand that fades? Or values that continue? Because the most powerful leaders think beyond their lifetime. They don't just chase exits. They build endurance. This is where modern entrepreneurship often falls short. We are taught to chase income. But Scripture teaches us to build systems. Systems that empower others. Systems that outlive founders. Systems that multiply impact, not ego. That's why one of the first action steps is this. Build systems, not just income. Income feeds you. Systems feed generations. Next, choose integrity over shortcuts. Shortcuts may speed success, but they weaken foundations. Biblical leaders understood that character is the currency that sustains influence. You can recover from losses. But trust, once broken, is expensive to rebuild. Then comes the hardest mindset shift. Think generationally. Not just, how much can I make? But, what am I leaving behind? Businesses aligned with purpose don't just survive market cycles. They shape culture. And finally, align profit with purpose. Profit gives sustainability. Purpose gives direction. When both work together, business becomes more than commerce. It becomes calling. The greatest businesses don't just grow revenue, they shape history. So whether you're building a startup, a family business, a ministry, or a vision still forming in your heart, remember this. Money measures success. But impact defines it. And the truest wealth is leaving the world better than you found it. Innovation changes tools. But principles change outcomes. Every generation gets new technology. New platforms. New opportunities. But the reason some people rise, and others fall, has never changed. It's not the tools they use. It's the principles they build on. What you've heard today isn't theory. It's time-tested wisdom, proven across generations, economies, and empires. And if something stirred in your spirit while watching this, if you felt challenged, encouraged, or awakened to build differently, don't let that moment pass. Like this video. Subscribe to Living Faith Fuel. And share it with someone who's building a business, a vision, or a legacy. And wants to do it with purpose. Because ancient wisdom still works. If you're bold enough to apply it. This channel exists to fuel faith, sharpen minds, and raise builders who lead with integrity in a noisy world. And remember, you're not just building for now. You're building for impact. You're building for generations. Until next time, stay grounded, stay faithful, and keep building with God.